Argenta has an all-inclusive event management system that caters to every aspect of event planning, from ticket sales to guest registration. This integration ensures that nonprofits can handle their events smoothly without needing multiple tools. I'm Amy Gallagher, an Argenta evangelist user, and in this video, I'll take you through my favorite module, the event management system. All right, let's get started here. In the main menu on the left side of the screen, select Event Management, then Event List. This redirects you to the list of all your organization's events, past or present, and displays a bit of information about each event so you can quickly scan the event details. Whether you're adding a new event or enabling your public interface form for an existing event, you'll do everything in the event workspace. To open an event's workspace, just click the open icon next to the event you're working with, and you'll be redirected. Okay, the very first tab here is the Event Details tab, and the first thing you should do is determine whether you will sell tickets to the event. If you will, make sure to check the Allow Ticket Sales box. When this box is checked, there are two tabs added, Ticket Settings and Ticket Sales. I'll show you how to manage ticket sales on these tabs a little later. Next, you're required to enter an event title. Choose a short but descriptive title for your event. The title is displayed prominently on your public forms, so you want it to be clear to your guests. If you like, you can choose a category for your event. Argenta comes preloaded with event categories to help you get started, but you can create your own. To create a new event category, click the Add icon. A window will come up, and all you have to do is type a category name. Click the Add button here. The window will close and your new category will be selected. All right, I'm going to change this back to conference because that better classifies this event. Okay, the next thing here, if your event can only handle a certain number of guests, you'll need to set that here. To do that, just change the number from 0 to whatever your maximum is. Once the number of guests or tickets reaches this number, event registration will close and the public form will display a message to your guests that the event is full. This is very important because it ensures that you never go over the maximum allowed. Leaving the default of 0 means there is no maximum. All right, now there are 3 very important fields to complete if you plan to open the event for public registrations or ticket sales. First is the event's current status. This can change as you go through the stages of planning and posting, but when you're ready to open your public forms, the status must be set to registration open. If the event is set to any other status, your public interface form will display a single page indicating that the event is closed. This is a great way to pause the event registration process if you need to. You can easily turn your public forms off, then on again, just using this setting. Okay, the next thing you need to do here is to set the open and close registration dates. This is pretty self-explanatory, but the open date and time is when you want the forms to become available, essentially opening the event, and the close date and time when registration closes and the public forms are no longer available. Just to be clear here, the behavior is that the current date and time must be after the open date and time, and the current date and time must be before the close date and time for the public form to be open. If your forms are closed and you're not sure why, check these fields and that might be the problem. Okay, now you'll also need to set the dates and times for the event, and these will be displayed on your public registration or ticket sales form. If the event isn't happening over multiple days, you only need to set the start date and time. For multi-day events, set both the start and end dates and times. Okay, let's scroll down here. There are a few more fields on the Details tab you should know about. If your event is a webinar, you can add the link to the webinar here, and this will show up on your public forms. The link will also be sent to the event guest on their ticket, so they know how to access it when the time comes. If your event has a theme, you can enter it here for informational purposes. Now, let's take a look at the associated campaign field. If you've set up a fundraising campaign where you're tracking results for a set of fundraising efforts, and this event is part of those efforts, you will connect that campaign here. It's a lookup field, and it works just like all the other lookup fields in Argenta. You just click the lookup icon, and that brings up a window where you can locate the campaign you'd like to associate. The window closes and the campaign you chose is displayed in the field. Okay, all that's left here are the organization segments. This includes chapter, division, department, district, and precinct. These fields are important not only if your organization is divided this way, but also if you set permissions in your system based on these. You can limit users to view and or modify only records associated to the segments they are assigned. Keep that in mind when setting these fields. It's very easy to set these. You just use each drop-down list to choose the associated segment. Districts and precincts are typically used by our political customers, and they are connected to each other. So you need to choose a district first, then the precincts in that district will load. Then select the appropriate precinct. That's it. You can save your changes, or if you just switch tabs, your changes will be saved as well. For now, we're going to skip the public form tab. We will come back to that a little later. Let's take a look at this tab here, the contact and location tab. So just like some of the fields we've talked about, these fields are pretty self-explanatory. But what you may not know is how these fields work in regard to your public forms. The event coordinator or contact person is the person who is designated as being primarily responsible for the event. This is the person guests should contact if they have questions or concerns. And that's why this field is important if you're using the public forms, because their contact information is displayed so that the guests know who to contact. The contact ID field is only here to help you. You can select any constituent in your system, and doing so simply fills in the text fields. The name in the lookup field isn't what appears on your public form. It's only the text below that matters. So you don't have to use the lookup if you don't want to. You may not have a specific contact person, or your designated contact person might not be a constituent in your system. The takeaway is whatever information is contained in the contact person's name, email, and phone fields is what will display on your public form. You can enter anything you want in these fields. They are open text fields. The location for the event works the exact same way. You use the constituent venue or location ID field if you have a constituent in your system already that you want to use. It's helpful because it fills in the text fields for you. So again, whatever information is contained in the location name, address, city, state, and postal code fields is what will display to your guests on the public forms. Just like with the details tab, you can save your changes, or if you just switch tabs, your changes will be saved as well. At this point, let's skip a few tabs here and take a look at how ticket sales are handled in Argenta. Keep in mind that Argenta has a built-in e-commerce integration with Stripe. You can only sell tickets if you've set up your Stripe account through subscription settings. And to do that, just choose subscription in the top right menu, then open the e-commerce settings tab. Now I'll show you how to set up your event tickets so you can begin selling them online with our e-commerce interface through Stripe. The Ticket Settings tab is where you'll create tickets for your event. There are several options available, so you can set limitations and design different tickets for different purchasing needs. The first time you view ticket settings, you'll see a single general admission ticket ready to use. You can change the name of the default ticket if necessary, just make it as descriptive as possible. The ticket's start and end dates are very important. You use these to set the dates that the ticket is available to be purchased. Different tickets can be sold using different date ranges. For example, you may want your single general admission ticket to be available for the entire registration period, but your table sponsorship opportunity to end earlier. That's why Argenta allows you to set the start and date range by ticket rather than just one open registration period. If there are no tickets available to purchase on a given date, the entire event ticket sales form will close, and a message will be displayed that there are no tickets available for the event. After you've set the start and end sales dates, you must set a price for the ticket. The ticket price is the price you're charging for the ticket. This price includes both the fair market value of what the ticket purchaser receives in exchange for their purchase and the tax-deductible portion of the ticket sale. So to be clear, this is what the ticket purchaser will be charged at the time of purchase. Next, you will designate how much of the ticket price is tax deductible. This is the ticket price minus the fair market value of what the purchaser receives for their purchase. As an example, let's say your event includes one drink and an appetizer. This is what your guests receive for attending the fundraiser. The fair market value or cost of the drink and the appetizer are not tax deductible for the purchaser. Let's say the cost of the drink and the appetizer is $10 per person. You would then subtract $10 for each individual on the ticket from the ticket price to get the tax deductible amount. That's what you would enter into this field. Later, when I take you through ticket sales, I'll show you the seamless way this gets calculated for you in Argenta. Just a note here, if you don't want to separate the fair market value and the tax deductible contribution, you don't have to. Just leave the tax deductible amount set at 0 for the ticket type. Obviously, we don't recommend doing it this way because nonprofit finance laws are pretty specific about this. But like everything in Argenta, they provide flexibility so you can make that determination for your own organization. Adding new tickets with different options is easy. Just click the Add a New Ticket Type button. A window will pop up where you can set up the parameter for each ticket type. You'll begin by typing the ticket type or title for your ticket. Remember to make this title descriptive. It's what your guests will see when selecting a ticket to purchase on the public form. The public ticket sales form allows users to set the quantity of each ticket they want to purchase. Selecting check to lock quantity and limit choice to one ticket per registration removes the quantity field from the public form so the user can only purchase one of each ticket type. If you want to set a limit on how many of each ticket can be sold, you will select check to limit the amount of tickets available for this ticket type. This will enable the max tickets available field. Enter the maximum number you want to sell in this field. Each ticket allows you to set the total number of individuals per ticket. For example, if you want your ticket plus t-shirt ticket to be available only for tickets with 2 or more guests on the same ticket, you would set the total number of individuals on this ticket to 2. For a new ticket, this is where you will set the ticket price and the start and end sales dates I described earlier. And finally, the description field is for information only. It's to describe the ticket type to you or your team. When you've finished, click the Add this ticket type button to close the window, and you'll see your new ticket in the list. Okay, now I'll show you how setting max tickets available works and how to designate availability between your tickets. If you've set maximum tickets available, then you must designate them evenly between ticket types. You do this by making sure the total number of designated ticket guests doesn't exceed the maximum number of guests allowed. You can use this field, total designated ticket guests, to help you. It displays the sum of all the ticket slots you've already divided between tickets. You'll see here that you can have a maximum number of 250 guests at your event. You already have 180 designated to 2 tickets. The single general admission ticket has 100 and the couples ticket has 80 because there are 2 individuals on each one. So 40 times 2 is 80 individual guests. And that's it. That's how you can divide the number of guests allotted for an event between the tickets that you create for the event. Now, if you have more than one ticket type that you'll be selling on your public form, you may want them to be listed on the form in a specific order. You can do this by using the field Display Order on Form. Items will display in ascending numerical order on your public form. So just change the numbers here and click the Save All Changes button. You'll notice that the order has changed and now your couple's ticket is displayed first. Okay, next, you may want to allow your guests to purchase tickets online, but defer payment until later, giving them the option to pay by check. You can do that by checking Allow ticket purchasers to skip payment and mail in a check. This will allow your guests to choose this option when they complete the form and bypass the e-commerce checkout. You'll know if tickets have been paid for by credit card or if the guest has chosen to mail in a check here on the Ticket Sales tab. If a payment still needs to be collected, the ticket sale will indicate that here. The ticket sales list displays each ticket sold with important information about the ticket. You can see the ticket number and the ticket type together here, the date the ticket was purchased, the constituent who purchased the ticket, the quantity of tickets purchased, the number of guests per ticket, and the individual ticket price. The total purchase is the price of one ticket times the quantity selected. If the guest chose a single general admission ticket for $50 each and set the quantity to 2, the total purchase would be $100. Right above the ticket list, you'll notice the total number of ticket sales, the total amount of those ticket sales, and the total number of guests from all the tickets. These totals are helpful during final planning for your event. If you need to add a ticket sale, you can do that easily by just clicking the Add New button. That will redirect you to the Add a Ticket Sale page. There are 3 required fields to complete here. First, use the lookup button in the Event Guest Purchaser field to select the constituent who is purchasing the ticket. In the Purchase Date field, select the date the ticket was sold and select the ticket type. Click the Add This Ticket Sale button, and that will redirect you to the workspace for your new ticket sale. After adding a new ticket sale, you'll land on the Ticket Financials tab. This is important because it's how you'll see the division of the total ticket sale into the 2 parts. The event ticket payment for the fair market value of what the ticket purchaser receives for attending your event, and the contribution or donation, which is tax deductible. This is the donation that's created when the ticket is purchased based on the settings you have for the tax deductible amount. You can open the donation here in the ticket sale workspace, or you can see the donation in the fundraising module by choosing fundraising, then fiscal donations from the main menu on the left side of the screen. Just a note here, if you don't want to separate the fair market value and the tax deductible contribution, you don't have to. Just leave the tax deductible amount set at 0 for the ticket type. Now, one final thing here, you can add the ticket sale and or the donation to your general journal and your general financial system by checking the corresponding Add to General Journal checkbox. This works exactly the same way as it does throughout Argenta. Okay, the next tab, the Constituent Guest tab, displays all of the event guests associated to this ticket, but only if they are already designated as constituents in your system. The constituent who purchased the ticket is always listed along with each of their guests. You'll also notice the constituent who purchased the ticket is displayed here, so you'll always know who that is. There are a few different ways an additional guest gets associated to the ticket purchaser. If you are entering this ticket manually, you can add the ticket purchaser's guests right here by clicking the Add New button above the list. On this screen, you can choose any constituent in your system by clicking the search icon, or you can add a brand new constituent by clicking the Add New icon. When searching for a constituent, simply type a few letters of their name, then select them in the list. This will close that and fill in the constituent ID field here. Click the Add Guest button, and you'll see your new guest in the list, and they will be designated to this ticket. The next tab here, the Additional Guests tab, displays any additionally invited guests on the ticket who are not yet in the system at all. A guest would be on this list if the ticket purchaser used the online form and added a guest to the ticket who wasn't already in your system as a constituent. The nice thing about this is that you can easily convert this person to a constituent if you have their first name, their last name, and their email address. To do that, just click the Create Constituent and move to Guest List icon that corresponds to the guest you want to convert. When you do that, the guest will no longer be displayed here, but you will find them in your event guest list, and they will have a constituent record in your system. Back over to our ticket workspace now. The next tab here, the Applied Refunds tab, displays all the refunds specifically associated to this ticket. If a ticket purchase has been refunded, you'll see that here in this list. To issue a refund, click the Issue a Refund button. The refund panel will show up here, and you can enter the details for the refund that you're issuing. You can grant full or partial refunds. Choose one or the other here. You can choose a category for your refund. Again, Argenta comes preloaded with refund categories you can choose from, but you can also add your own by clicking the add icon. The refund description will automatically be filled in for you with the information from the ticket. You can change it if you like. The refund date will also be automatically filled in with the current date. You can obviously change that as well. Next, enter the amount of the refund and select the method by which you return the funds to the ticket purchaser. Then the final field here is the check number or reference number field. You can add either or if you have something to put there. When you've completed all the fields, click the apply this refund to this ticket sale button, and you'll now see your refund displayed here in the list. Okay, moving on here. If you have any files associated to this ticket, you can upload and view them here on the Related Files tab. Whether you drag and drop your file or you click the Browse button to find the file on your machine, make sure you click the Save the Selected File button to complete that upload. If you have any notes you'd like to make about the ticket, you can add, edit, and view them here on the Ticket Notes tab. And finally, like all records in Argenta, you can set user permissions for this specific ticket. Here on the Record Permissions tab, you can set either view only access, so users can view the ticket but not make any modifications to it. Or you can lock the record, so only users who are designated here can access the ticket at all. Once you set the permissions you want, I would recommend going back to the Ticket Details tab. Remember, if you set permissions on a record of any type, you have to make sure the record is designated accordingly. Okay, we've covered everything there is to know about the ticket workspace and how to sell tickets. Now we'll loop back around a little bit and go into detail about how to set up your public event ticket and registration form so you can get started. Okay, so I told you earlier that there are two types of events, one where you allow guests to register but not purchase tickets, and one with a full e-commerce interface where you can sell tickets. What's nice about Argenta is that you can design your own public forms right down to choosing what fields are displayed on the form. You can choose colors that match your unique brand. You can add a hero image to the form, and in the freeform description section, you can really add anything you want. You can add images, attach documents, include links, and set up the form any way you like. The sky is the limit on how you design your own form. Every event is different, so the form settings can be changed at the event level for each event. However, there are default settings that every event will start out with, and those can be found in the main menu under Event Management, then choose Public Event Form. You can see here options to change the default colors on your form and which optional fields to display. I'm going to show you how these controls work over in the event workspace, but this is where you set the defaults for all new events. Okay, let's jump back over into our event. To edit your public event form, select the Public Form Design tab. This is where you'll set the form colors, determine which optional fields you want to have the user complete on the form, set the large banner image at the top of the screen, and create and edit that form content we talked about earlier. And of course, save and preview the changes you've made. Let's design the public form for this event by starting here with the banner image. It's really easy to do this. You just find the image you want to use on your machine, then drag and drop it right here. Once you see your image here with a green dot, you must click the Save Banner Image button. This will finish saving and uploading your image, and you'll see it right where you uploaded it. If a banner image has already been uploaded for an event, it can be removed by just clicking Remove Image directly above it. At that point, you can choose not to have a banner image or to start the process over and upload a new image. There are a few criteria for the image that you upload to be your banner image, and you can see them right here by clicking this help circle. Your banner image should be at least 1000 pixels wide and no more than 300 pixels in height. This is an aspect ratio of 16:9. This is really important so that your image displays properly on your form. Just a note here, these help circles can be found all over the system, and I really encourage you to use them because they have a lot of helpful information. All right, let's move into the next part of our form design, and that's choosing colors for your form. So remember when you add a new event, the colors will automatically be set to the defaults we took a look at earlier. The default colors may be just fine for the event you're planning, but what if you're planning a special event where you want to use colors that match your banner image or use a color palette for a season like fall or spring? In that case, you can change them pretty easily right here in the form color section. And I will show you how to do that using the color picker control. First, your public form has a large headline that displays the name of your event prominently at the top of the form. You can set the color of the headline by choosing the headline color, which brings up this palette of colors you can choose from. Another way to pick a color is to use the color palette's color wheel. You just click anywhere inside here and position your cursor where you get the best color. And when you have the color you want, just click OK. That closes the color palette and the color you chose will be selected for the headline. There is one more way to choose a color, and that's if you have the RGB or the hex code for a very specific color you want to use. If you have a hex code, you just paste it here. Click outside of the hex code field, click OK, and the hex color you entered will be selected here in the icon color control. If you're selling tickets to your event, there are some helpful icons scattered on the form, and this is where you choose what color they should be. Back over to our form design page here. If you want to use RGB values, you would enter them here. Click outside of the fields to view the color top right, then click OK again to see the color selected for the headline. All of the color pickers in Argenta work the same way, so you can repeat the process to choose the button colors here. You can set the color of the button when someone rolls over it, and the font color of the button text. That is all there is to choosing colors for your event forms. Now we'll take a quick look at the optional form fields. Right now, there are 3 field choices you can make. That could be more in the future because Argenta is constantly upgrading their system to make it better and better. So you can require your guests to enter their mailing address. Now, notice the city, state, and zip code are separate here. That's because you may not need a home address, but you would like to know the geographic location of your guest. This is handy for that. Setting required form fields is very simple. You just turn them on or off. If the field is set to off, it won't show up on the form. If it's set to on, it will. Next, let's jump into the event description or the content section of the event form. A short and simple description of the event has been added already. To update the content section, click the Edit Content button. This will open the Argenta content editor. You'll see these all over the system and they all work the same way, but I'll take you through a little bit of how it works so you can create beautiful event forms for your guests. The content editor has several functions you can use to do all kinds of things. You can type right into the editor, you can cut, copy, and paste text, then you can format that text any way you like. You can add bullet points, or you can change those bullet points to a numbered list. You can change the font you're using, maybe make it more formal. If you want to start over, you can use this tool to strip all formatting. We'll make this big again and change the color back to purple. You can change text alignment, like to center it on the page. Now let's add a link here in the content section. I'll paste the text where I want to add the link, then highlight the text I will use as the link. I'll select the Hyperlink Manager tool, and that will bring up a window where I can add the necessary pieces of the URL I'm going to use in my link. In the URL field, you simply type or paste the URL where you want the link to take the user when they click it. Next, in the link text field, type the text you want to display as the link text. If you highlight text in your content, it will auto-fill this field. You can change it if need be. You can skip the ID field. It's not really necessary. You will set the target. This is where the URL will open. Usually the best choice is new window because the user won't be taken away from your form, but a new tab or browser window will open instead. Those are the only items you need to set in this window, so go ahead and click the OK button. You'll notice your text has been changed to a link, and that is finished. So now let's try adding an image. To add a photo or any image to the content, you use the Image Manager. If you've never uploaded an image into the content folder for your team before, you won't see anything in here. It will be blank. So to get started, you'll click the upload button, which will allow you to select a file from your machine to upload and insert. We didn't have any files in our content folder yet, but if you did and you knew you were uploading an image you had uploaded before, or even if you're not sure, you can decide to either overwrite the previous file or not using this checkbox here. This part of the window here is helpful because it shows you the max file size you're allowed to upload and what file types are allowed. That's all there is to uploading an image. Make sure your file appears here with a green dot, and if it does, go ahead and click the upload button here to upload your image into your content folder. You can see that the file has been uploaded successfully. There is an image editor built in here, but I'm not going to go through how to use that. In this video, Argenta does have other videos that cover the content managers in their knowledge base that can help you with this if needed. Okay, so we click this insert button to get that image into our content section. The window will close and you'll see it here. I just inserted this image right into the box in no particular space or order, but there are a few different ways to format content so that it looks the way you want it to on your event forms. You'll notice that the content editor has changed a little bit. This part of the video is an update made after an upgrade was done to the content editors. So I'll show you how to format your objects using the updated editor. Okay, I've added some space here between my image and my text, and that's because I'm going to insert a table into that space. Tables are used for all kinds of things in the editor, but for our purposes, I'll use it to put the text next to the image so everything looks nice and well formatted on our public form. The number one most important thing to take away from using tables is that you must set the width of the table and all widths concerning the table to percentages. The table must be 100% wide. This is so that your content looks good on all devices, mobile included. Never ever set the height of the table. This will make the table look pixelated and stretched out. Let the table take on the automatic height of the objects in the cells. I'll show you what I mean by that here in the next few minutes. But for now, this is all we need to do here. So we'll click the OK button to insert the table into the space where we had our cursor. And now we're ready to move our objects here. By objects, I mean our image and our text. I'll select and drag my image into the first cell of the table because I want the image on the right side of the text. Then I'll cut the text and paste it into the second cell in the table, aligning it next to the image. So now you can see the text is automatically aligned vertically in the center of that second cell. I'm going to use cell properties to fix that. You might have noticed that the cell width automatically expanded to fit the image and the text that I added, but you can also set the width of cells. It's very important to remember you can only use percentages when you're doing this, and the total width of the cells must add up to 100%. So just keep that in mind if you set cell widths. Again, don't set the height of a cell. That will cause your form to look strange when it's viewed by your users. You want your forms to look perfect on all devices. Okay, now let's fix the alignment here. I'll choose top left, then hit the OK button, and the text now displays in the way that looks best. We can see that there's no space here between the image and the text, so I'm going to use a little trick here. I'll add 2 cells between them to create a bit of space, but still maintain the integrity of the form across all devices. It's very easy to do this. You just right-click in the right cell, then select column, select insert column to the left, and the additional column is inserted. Repeat that to add another column. And then we'll put 1 space in each of those columns. That is about how much space we need for it to look the way we want. We preview it, which saves your changes and shows you how it will look on your form. You can see it looks great here, so we'll switch over to the form itself by scrolling up and clicking the preview button at the top of the page to view it. This is the event registration form for our event. You can see all of the info for the event is automatically displayed here above the banner image we uploaded, and here is the content section that we just designed. After previewing it, you might choose to make a few changes. For example, I don't like how this text is right above this line, so I want to make a little space there. We'll go back to the content editor and add that space below our text. I'll click the View Content button to save it, then scroll up, click the Preview button once again to look at the form. And now we have that extra space that I wanted there below the text. I'm going to show you one more thing you can do with the content editor that can be very useful if you need to include any documents for your guests to download. I'll use the document manager to upload a document right into the body of my content. The document manager looks and functions exactly the same as the image editor. You can see here that no documents have been uploaded yet for the subscriber's content, so there are no documents in here. Let's go ahead and upload a document here. Click the Upload button. Again, this will allow you to select a document from your device to upload into your team's content space. Click Select, then choose the file that you want to upload. You'll quickly see it uploading here, and when it's done, you'll see a green dot next to your file. That's how you know it's done uploading. The same things happen in this window as in the image manager. So you can choose to overwrite a file or not, and you can see the document types you're allowed to upload here. Click the Upload button. That window closes, and you'll see the document you uploaded here. Now, just like when we added a link to a URL, there are a couple of settings here we need to specify. First is the text that will be used as the link. You can leave the document name that's set already as the default, or you could choose to enter text like this so that it's a phrase rather than a document title. You don't really need an ID. And the target is new window, just like before, so that clicking the link doesn't take the user away from your form. Some browsers will open the document right in the browser, and some will just download the document. At any rate, it's better to be safe and choose a new window. You don't really need to make any other selections here, so go ahead and click Insert to add your document into the content. It will be added wherever you have your cursor when you open the document manager, so be mindful of that. I'm going to add a little text here. This is a good idea to provide a little context for your users so that they know what they're downloading and why they should. So again, let's click the View Content button to see how our content will look. If everything looks good here, you can preview the form again. Scroll up to the top of the page and click the Preview button. That takes you over to the event registration form, and you can see we've created a beautiful and interactive content section for your guests. The Argenta content editor really makes it easy to design your own forms and delight your guests and supporters. And that's it. That's a pretty complete overview on how to design your own public event registration and ticket sales form. This is going to complete part 1 of our very thorough overview of the event management system. This module is so extensive and provides so many features, we have to break it up into several parts so we can get these out. Check back soon for part 2 of our event management series. You can find that and many more helpful videos in the Argenta knowledge base by going to argentasoftware.com/kb.